This is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are catching up on our project recipes and we are going to do Springtime Soiree today. This collection is so pretty. If you haven't seen it yet, it's just gorgeous and perfect for spring. Just super sweet little embellishments and beautiful colors, soft, just what you think of when you think of spring. I hope you like this one. It's a fun project recipe. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today. We're gonna catch up with project recipes, and I didn't realize that I was lagging, but apparently I am. So this is Springtime Soiree, and I'm using some different papers than what they used in this selection, and I have a sample that I'm going to show you from another layout that I did using other papers from this collection as well with this project recipe. So you'll get two samples. Stay tuned for that at the end. This project recipe is actually very straightforward and goes together very well, very quickly. I think you'll really like it. So we're going to use the Watering Cans Border Maker cartridge. If you don't have this one yet, this one's really cute, and it does go right along with our National Scrapbook Day theme, so it's very handy for any of those layouts that you're going to be doing in the next couple of months. And so so does the Springtime Soiree whole line. I feel like it goes really well with the themes as well as the colors. It's just super fun when everything coordinates. I really love that. So we are going to use in the on the project recipe, it says to use 2 sheets of beige solid cardstock as your base. I'm going to use 2 sheets of baby blue just to be different, and because I just feel like it is going to look nicer for this. We're going to do this layout today with a little bit of a BIE flair, in that I'm going to show you something that I feel like I wish I had done in the other layout, which is a little more advanced maybe, and most of you, you know, you don't have to do this, but I just thought it might be kind of a cool thing to add, and it's not too terribly difficult. It's just sort of taking things up one more level. So we'll get to that eventually, but let's go ahead and get started. I have my permanent jumbo adhesive and I have my repositionable adhesive here. We're going to set those aside, but we'll get to them in not very long. I'm going to take my base sheets and move them out of the way for the moment, because it'll be a minute before we get back to those. And I'm going to move this to the second page, which is, of course, the cutting guide for the project recipe. I'm going to just pop that into my housing there so that it's good to go when we're ready, and grab my trimmer. All right, so for this we're doing a lot of splitting in half. You'll notice designer paper number 1 and designer paper number 2 are basically cut in half, but they are altered a little bit on their length, so that's important to note. So basically what I've done in the selection of my papers is I chose the same paper. I'm just using the flip side of it, and you don't have to do that. You can choose your papers however you like, but that's how I have decided to do mine. And I'm going to, these papers are going to be vertical when you place them on your paper, on your layout. So keep that in mind and realize that there is a directionality to these pages. Not so much the floral page, although it too I think has some directionality because you don't want your lilies to be sideways. So there is a directionality to this page as well, to a certain extent. So you just want to make sure that you are cutting up and down when you do that, that main cut. So for paper number 1, that's going to be my trying to think here. So it says punch, then cut. So I'm going to wait on paper number 1. So we're just going to set this one aside. That's going to be our paper number 1. This is going to be our paper number 2, and we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off. So I'm going to scoot this over to the first line of the grid beyond to the right of my cutting line. That's going to be my 1/2 inch mark, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off. Okay, so there's my 1/2 inch. Now the remainder of this paper I'm going to cut in half at 6. So I'm just turning it so that my arches are going from left to right. I'm going to match this left edge up with my magic 6-inch marker up there and cut that at 6 inches. Okay, so there's our 6-inch mark. This piece we're going to cut in half at 6 inches, and we're going to use the 1/2 inch piece as part of our embellishing according to the project recipe. Now if you don't want to do that, don't do it, but according to the project recipe, that's what the designer had in mind. Okay, so half of that's going to go over here, the other half is extra, and it's just going to sit right there. And then I'm using the yellow with the kind of dot dash pattern on it, and this, I don't know, it's like a fencing kind of grid on the back, like yarn or something woven. This is my designer paper number 3, and I'm mainly using the tone on tone side, this side, for my mats in designer paper number 3, which is the green down here. So I'm going to cut that into 3 4-inch sections, and I'm choosing to have my lines go horizontal, so I'm cutting them vertically so that when I cut my 4x6 mats, they're going this way. Some of them are going to get turned. That's just the nature of the game when you are trying to utilize a whole sheet. But you won't really notice much because we will be putting photos on top. So once the photos are there, you won't even see it. Alright, so again we're cut that at 4 inches. I stacked my 2 4x12 pieces, and now I'm going to cut them at 6 inches so that we have 4 4x6 mats, which are going to go up there, and then the last one gets cut into 3 4x4 mats. So we're going to come out here again to the 4-inch mark. And the 4-inch mark. I hope everyone has had a happy St. Patrick's Day. We did our corned beef and cabbage on Sunday. Well, we don't do cabbage. Shh, don't tell anyone. Well, usually we'll steam a piece or two because my mom really likes it, but I've never really enjoyed the cabbage, but I love the potatoes and the carrots and all the rest of it. So, yeah, we just don't cook it, generally speaking. But now that my mom is celebrating St. Patrick's Day with us, we will cook her some because she likes it. Anyway, Let's see. So we're going back to designer paper number 1. 2 is cut, 3 is cut. Now we need to come back to designer paper number 1. We're going to punch one edge and then we're going to trim off the other edge. Okay, so we're going to put the arches going sideways and into the border maker system. Then we're going to put that guide back underneath there and we're going to punch this all the way across. And it's going to be these super cute little watering cans. Now what I noticed in using the beige cardstock, which is what it says to use, and I'm not challenging it, I'm just saying this is an observation I had, is that when you put a lot of these tone-on-tone colors that are in this collection on top of the beige cardstock, the definition of the watering cans gets lost. They're very hard to see. Now, using the pink, this lovely blush rose color, that might not be the case, but in the layout, the other layout that I did, you definitely don't see. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. It's very difficult to see the definition on these watering cans. You can tell they're there, but you don't really notice that they're there unless you're looking right at them. So I am proposing that we bump this up to another notch of experience, I guess. And I will show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so first of all, we're going to turn this and we're going to cut this at 11 inches. So to make sure that I'm cutting it at the proper length, since I have now punched this, I'm going to measure it so that from the top of the watering can to my cutting line, that's 11 inches. And it is shy of one full inch. It's almost to the 3/4 mark, but not quite. Okay, so I'm going to just take that off. That's extra. It's just going to sit over there and be happy. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to measure this to the 6-inch mark, which, and I'm going to turn this so that I can make sure it's straight, right? So I can put this straight edge along this shoulder. That will help me keep my cut straight. And then we're just going to cut this right down the middle at the 6-inch mark. Okay, there we go. Now, my watering cans are going to be facing maybe a different direction than the other ones because I punched it with the peach side up, or the pinky side up, instead of with the rose side up. So, but I'm sorry, that is the right way because this is going to be flower side up. So that goes like that. There we go. Okay, so the only other thing I was going to do when I mentioned that I was going to ramp this up just a little bit, I'm going to lay this out so that we can take a look at what it's going to look like, and then we can decide something. So this piece gets centered. The peach piece, which is my floral piece, gets centered on the center, right along the edge, and centered between the top and bottom of my base page. Okay, so this is the middle of my layout. Then this piece is going to go and be about a healthy 3/4 to 5/8 of an inch from the outside edge and centered again between the top and the bottom. Okay, so it's going to be about there. Now, again, it's very difficult to see this definition. So what I want to do is add, and we'll have our mats on here that are going to be yellow. Okay, so I want to add some definitions. So what I'm going to do is grab some solid cardstock in a coordinating color, and I want to decide which one's going to be most effective. Okay, so I'm gonna put that underneath there. We can use purple, or this is eggplant, or we can use navy. I kind of like the eggplant. I think it pulls the purple out. And I don't use eggplant very often, so I'm excited to use the eggplant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my border maker again, and I'm going to punch another row of watering cans. Alright, so then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trim this. And I'm going to trim this at 1 inch. Stick that over there. And I'm going to trim this at 6 inches, just like our papers. Alright. That one's going to go there. That one's going to go there. Alright, done with the trimmer. Trimmer's going to go away. Okay, now what I'm going to do is come in here with my repositionable adhesive. Now I didn't put that on every single little watering can, I only put it on a few of them, but I'm going to bring this in, and if my hands will stop shaking, because for some reason they just have decided that now is a good time to have a trimmer, I'm going to just put this behind and to the side just enough that it will give us a shadow, just enough of a shadow that it will emphasize those cute little watering cans. Okay, so just going to try to make it the same on both sides as much as possible. And I always anchor on the whatever is on the very end that gets adhesive, no matter what. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to come in here with our adhesive and we're going to put this together. I hope all of you have been finding more success with your jumbo tape runners since we did that video about how to fix the occasional hang-up that happens. I hope that's been helpful for you. If you have not seen that and you're interested, check out the video up in the corner, and there'll be a link to that fix. You may have to do it again. It just happens periodically. Nothing we can do about it. And it's happened forever. It's not unique to, oh goodness. Why did I do that? Alright. I need to not talk while I'm playing. Permanent adhesive is not what I wanted in this spot. I wanted my dots. All right. Actually, let's see. I'll just use this. Trying to use up a cartridge, so let's see if we can get that going. All right. Now this, again, we're going to put this about 3/4 of an inch in from the edge, so let's, for kicks and giggles, just line up my paper so that I have a better idea how far I'm going. There we go. And I want to bring that down just a skosh. Okay, I think that'll work right there. All right. Now the layout has, on this left-hand side, we've got a horizontal and a vertical. And 2 square okay. Now I'm going to suggest to you that the first one that you want to place is this one right here, and I'm gonna just kind of go with laying this on here, and then go ahead and submit. Submit. Go ahead and adhere your mat. It's going to be somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch from this edge and over by about the same amount here. Okay, and then this one, this mat, let's make the lines go horizontal when we can. It's always good to kind of try to make them match when as much as possible. Alright, so then after that you can take these 2 mats and you can line them up much easier where you want them. So these are going to be centered. And actually, well, I'm looking at what they've got going there. They've centered it from this line to this line. That's where their centering is. And they've tried to make this the same as this. That's what it looks like anyway, to my eye. So that's what we're going to go with too. And there'll be a little bit more of a gap, but not much between these two. Okay, so like that. We'll get back to this in just a second. Let me pull out my other base page and we'll get it up to speed. Okay, so then we've got one vertical and one horizontal mat, and they have left off, oh, I just noticed. Okay, so actually on your project recipe, you'll notice they did not use a mat here. I did use my third mat here. What else are you going to do with that extra 4x4 square? So I added that as a mat, and I'm going to use this mat down here, and then this photo up here does not have a mat. Okay, so that's kind of the way that that works. Or you could use this mat up here and then use this area down here as a title area, which I would use over this because this is tone on tone and your title will show up much nicer than putting it on the printed piece, the floral piece. Okay, so just an idea. All right, so let's go ahead and get these put on. And just for the sake of spacing, I'm going to go ahead and put this here so that I know where to put the top one. The top one's going to go about maybe slightly about right there. That's going to be good. And we're going to center it also so that this border here is roughly the same amount that it's going into the floral. And then we're going to do the same thing here as far as judging where this photo should go. Just trying to make sure that this border here and this border here are the same as this border down here, or as close as your eyeball can make it. And then this one will go up here. All right, so then we just have this piece and we have some embellishing to do. Now, they used, let's see, what did they use? They used a 12-inch sticker that they cut in half to go across this area. I used this sticker right here with all the flowers, and since I used this floral paper, that I feel like would be a very nice accent to put on there. But if you have the layered border embellishments, these are really nice, and this is what I used. I used the one with the daisies here on my other layout. So I just want to check this and see if there's one that might be lovely on this. I don't know, I feel like bringing out some more of the blue might be good. I don't want to use the daisies again because that's what I used on the last one. But let's see what this one might look like if we used that right in there. I kind of like that. It pulls in the yellow and the blue. I like that. The only other thing we could do is use this one, this sticker. But I think I like the blue. I like the blue in that other one best. So I think we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. Okay, so that means I need to cut this in half. So we're going to grab my trimmer and find the center on that. It's going to be directly in between this, in the center of those four smaller little diamonds. That's where I need to cut. Okay, so then we've got one for one side of the layout and one for the other side of the layout. All right. This is going to go all the way out to the edge of my page and be centered in that space right there. We want to make it as level as we can. All right, and then the other page, we're going to do the same thing, but in a different spot. So we're going to come down here to this area and center that in the pink gap. Okay, so just like that. Now this 6" by 1/2 inch piece, you'll notice that they have cut the edges to create a flag. So I'm going to grab my precision point scissors, and you could try to fold this in half, but 1/2 inch is pretty tricky. So I'm just going to go in at an angle and go about 1/4 inch deep and just cut my flag in like that. Okay, I'm going to do that on both sides so it's as even as I can make it. Like so. Okay. I think the first one was pretty even, the second one, not so much. Okay, so then we're going to fold this over to fold it in half essentially to make a flag, and this is going to go right by the area where I didn't put a mat, so right over here. Now, the only challenge that I have with this is that the top of it kind of gets lost due to the fact that what's underneath matches. So I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. I suppose we could kind of fold it differently. Maybe go like so. But the bottom still gets lost. Anyway, they've got it the other way. This way. So we'll go with that. And this just is going to go like so. And my title is going to go here. All right. We need some embellishments. And the embellishments for Springtime Soiree are so sweet and so pretty. If you are a fan of pastel colors for spring, this collection must be a dream because it's just so delicate and sweet. It really is just a lovely, lovely collection. I love this that says just for you. These flowers, and what would I pair that with? Let me think about that. So I think this one would look nice. Maybe with the watering can up here. Maybe like that. And we can add a couple of extra little flowers. So just for you. They've got a lot of embellishments on this sample up here. I don't know if you can see this very easily on camera, but we've got kind of a title sticker here, and they've got a flag with wording here, a flag with wording here, another embellishment with wording here, and another flag with wording here, plus another embellishment down here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a lot. I feel like a lot of embellishing, but you know, you're going to need to just sort of use your own judgment as to what works best for you. And it's going to depend, I think, upon what kind of pictures you have on this page as well. So I'm going to add some foam squares to this because I like the look of foam squares, and some people don't like them. They feel like they make their book too thick, but I'm gonna go with it. I like them. I like the definition that they give to my embellishments, so I'm okay with it. I am going to grab my no stick powder and add my no stick powder to this sticker. Okay, This is going to be, I think, my title sticker. Just for you, and we'll probably use this with my mom's birthday pictures, because it's just pretty. And we're hoping her party will end up being out of doors. So I think this will be really, really nice for those photos. Let's see. Maybe we'll do my happy place. Where should we put another one? So I'm gonna just lay this out here so that I can take a look at where we should add. I think maybe right in here. Or maybe even right in here. We could put it with our, flag over there on the side. I always feel like I need to hold my breath when I use my powder. Do you do that? So that you don't, because inevitably I end up with like a little cloud. It's tiny, but it is there. I can do. Put that there, and maybe add a flower or two with it. Purple, purple, we need something yellow. Just kind of making a little bouquet. Maybe we'll put this down here. Right here. Or do we need it more? No, I think I'm going to put it right there. All right. So, I bet I'm shocking y'all that I have not done an Ireland video here in a little bit, and we've just had St. Patrick's Day, but you know, I needed a little bit of a break. I'm sure y'all needed a little bit of a break too. It's all right. It's all good. Now, let's see. Do we need some words over the stems right here? Maybe this "what a lovely day" would be good. Will these fit on here? Barely. That's a very careful one. Okay. So we're going to put that kind of over just the base of those stems. I should have added some powder to that, and I didn't, so hopefully it will be all right. And I'm going to add just a couple of little leaves and a flower. Maybe this one. Because this needs something over here. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a little extra with the flower and some backdrop. And I think that's all I'm going to do. So let's remove all of our extra and take a look. What do you think? I'm looking at it on the camera. I like it. I like the blue behind it all. I feel like it helps the colors kind of jump off the page a little bit better. And I like the background behind our watering cans up here. I think that really helps those stand off the page as well. All right, well, thanks so much for joining me today and being a part of this project recipe. I hope this has been helpful to give you another combination of pages, papers, and colors with this collection that's so pretty for spring. And I hope that this is something that you have in your stash, because you'll be glad you have it. I know you will. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.